Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whenever and wherever you are in the world when you listen to this audio file of me being, well, having a cold. Jam and Jerry here. We're going to do the second half of this file about the Nokia X100. Don't mind the noises in the background. It could be Twitter, it could be whatever. At any rate, I've had some time to play with the phone, so I'm going to give you some of my findings, and we're going to look at a couple things in the phone, including the settings and the FM radio. So, here are a couple things that I have found out. First of all, the battery on this thing is awesome. I don't live on my phone like a lot of people do. So therefore, I'm not constantly on it, but I have had just a little over 5 hours of screen time. At any rate, to give you guys an example of how long this battery lasts, I unplugged it at 100% at 12:47 a.m. Friday morning. It is now 1:20 p.m. Monday afternoon. And let's just take a quick look at where we're at battery-wise.
Phone signal full. Battery 19%.
So we're still at about 19%. I generally will let my batteries go down to about 15, anywhere between 10 and 15%. So I've still got a little bit left. I've probably got just enough to do, this tutorial. Tutorial? It ain't a tutorial. But at any rate, I got enough to do this recording, and then I'll plug it in for a while. At any rate, there you go. Takes about 3 hours to charge it. But to get this much time out of it, basically 3.5 days. It's pretty impressive, I think. A couple things I don't like about the phone are some of the pre-installed apps. The launcher, which is called, I'm pretty sure, it's called Quick Step. You guys heard it in the first file. It's okay for a very basic launcher. However, when I found out that an app that I don't like, or that I can't really use very well, when I found it didn't work very well and I wanted to take it out of the dock, I could not figure out how to remove the icon or change it to another app that I replaced it with. So with that being said, I am personally using Nova Launcher. Now there was another one that was recommended. I can't remember what it was called. I think it started with an H, but I've never used that one, never heard of it. I purchased Nova Launcher several years ago. Matter of fact, it and Apex. So I went to use Nova, and Nova's really good on this phone. So I don't use its default launcher. I don't use its default messaging app either. There's a really good reason for this. Now, I don't know if maybe I'm just having some weird issues or what. It could be because if you know me and technology, anytime something weird can go wrong, it'll usually happen with me. Matter of fact, sometimes things that you wouldn't even think of that could go wrong can happen to me. Perfect case in point, the default messaging app I could not get to let me in messages. I could read the list of messages just fine. But let's say I wanted to double tap on one because I wanted to respond to it. Guess what? Couldn't do it. Oh, I'd double tap, and you'd hear the sound from TalkBack saying I double tapped, but the phone looked at me and just kind of went, you want me to do what? It just sat there. So I changed from the default messaging app to the Google messaging app, and it works just fine. The Google button, I found out you don't have to hold it in. In the manual, it says if you just press the button, you can type in it'll open the Google Assistant and you can type in your search. And if you press and hold it, it'll do the voice thing. No, mine apparently will do it if I just press the button. I don't have to hold it. I can just press it, which is kind of interesting. No. And I think I can even do it when the phone is completely locked as it is right now. Let's just try it just to see if I'm right. I'm going to press the button now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, it did wake up the phone.
Tap the dismiss assistant.
Here's what I found on the web.
Items from 1 to 5.
Okay, so
Back button.
it did work. I just apparently talked a little before it was ready. So it does do it. It'll wake up the phone and then the Google Assistant kicks in. I have to guess when it listens because it's not doing a little doo-doo at me. And I know someone posted on the blind Android list on they posted something about how to fix that. But I've forgotten how to fix it. So that's all that matters on that score. All right. So that's now done as far as just, some of the basic stuff I've seen and whatnot. One thing I also have noticed, and this is for me, this is not a deal breaker. I don't know if, budget phones, the touch screens, when you first touch them aren't as quick to realize that you're touching them and whatnot. And, but I've noticed sometimes when you go to touch the screen, it doesn't seem to recognize the touch. So, come on, turn on. Thank you. See, it took it a split second to realize I was touching it. Now.
Galaxy wearable.
Now.
IQ.
So, that, like I said, for me, that's not a deal breaker. It's just something I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and do the FM radio part first before we go looking at like the settings. The reason I want to show you the settings is just in case things might be in really different places on this phone and someone buys this phone and they're like, wait, where's what? We're just going to take a quick look at a lot of the settings. But what I'm going to do first is the FM radio so that if you don't want to listen to the settings part, you don't have to. You don't have to skip over it or anything. You can just, stop listening, I guess. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's just me. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to do
IQ.
We're going to turn up the voice just a hair.
IQ. News 80.
Oh, no, we're not. All right, we're going to... Oh, that's something else I want to bring up real quick. I'm going to go ahead and close CSR. I'm going to bring up...
Talk back on. Nova 7. Lift.
Okay, we're going to bring...
Tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use tab with 3 fingers to view.
We're going to bring up TalkBack to do this just because I can. Here's a little tip. If you want both TalkBack and CSR on this phone, and the reason I bring this up is because at one point I completely lost speech, and it was thanks to a sighted person helping me get things back going. But then the blind Android list on Telegram, people were helpful in suggesting things. So with TalkBack, and you'll see this later, I just want to bring this to everyone's attention now. With TalkBack, there's actually 2 settings in, like when you go to settings, you go to accessibility, and then you go to TalkBack. There's actually 2 things in there. One of them is a checkbox for the press and hold of the 2 volume keys. Then there's another checkbox for the accessibility button. That's down, that you can have down in the bottom right corner of the phone where you can just tap it. I I put talkback on that particular button, and I'll tell you why. With me having CSR and talkback on here, CSR, or Jicha, as its real name is Jicha, but we all call it CSR because it's also called commentary screen reader. Jicha does not have both checkboxes. It only has the checkbox for the volume up, volume down, press and hold. So what I would do if I were you, if you get this phone and you want to have access to both screen readers easily, I would put Jicha on the volume up, volume down keys and put talkback on the accessibility button, because then when you press the accessibility button, you don't have to try to memorize, oh, there's two screen readers here. Where is each one on the screen? Nor do you have to try to load both and then unload. So in other words, if you've already got one loaded, load the second one and then unload the first one. You don't have to do that now. It works perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and open my app drawer because I don't have my FM radio on my main screen. I need to put it there.
Apps, Nova Search, Drive, and Grid, Dropbox, Duo, Envision, ETI, Facebook, Family Link, Files, FM radio.
All right.
Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold the long press.
So I'm going to double tap it,
with 3 fingers to view.
and I'm going to have to plug my earphones in as well.
FM radio is running. Tap for more information or to stop the app. FM radio. Please plug in your headset to tune in. Out of grid.
See, it tells me, please plug in your earphones. All right, I'm doing that. There is a more options button in here. For those who like to know where buttons are, it's in the top right-hand corner. So let me... Okay, I'm unplugging the earphones so you guys can kind of hear what I'm doing at the moment.
Select more FM radio.
So there's your title up at the very top, FM radio.
Unlabeled. Double tap to activate. Labels available. Use tab with 3 fingers to view.
Let's see here. There's an unlabeled button. Then if you flick again,
more options button.
There's your more options. Let's show you what's in here.
Pop-up window. Scan and list. Speaker on. Settings.
Let's go ahead and look at the settings real quick.
Speaker on. Settings.
For whatever reason, I'm not able to get into the settings. That's
Speaker
interesting.
On. Scan. Settings. Speaker on.
Let's see if it's because the earphones are not plugged in. Give me just one moment. Okay. So apparently anytime you want to do something in here, the earphones have to be plugged in, because I just double tapped the settings button and it let me see the settings. So let's go ahead and unplug them so I can now show you what's in here.
Settings. Stereo on, switch and list. Double tap to activate.
So there's your first setting, if stereo's on or not.
Station details on, switch.
There's
Double tap to activate.
Okay.
Automatic frequency conversion on, switch.
And that's it. Those are your 3 settings. That's it. That's all you get.
Navigation bar, back. FM radio, more options, button.
All right, so there's your more options. Now, once you flick right from the more options button,
selected, unlabeled, button, disable, more options, button.
Again, it's not.
Selected, unlabeled.
There's 3 buttons there. Now, with the earphones unplugged, I'm not even seeing the frequency. I'm only seeing the 3 buttons, and that's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this, because if the radio is on, the speech kind of gets buried. Now, what you probably could do is go in and temporarily turn on, ducking, but I don't usually use ducking. But at any rate, right above the 3 buttons, well, actually what I should say is one flick to the right, it's showing me the frequency that I've been listening to, which in this case is 101.7 megahertz. I'm going to turn on the radio like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the FM radio. So now that I've got that done,
Selected.
so yeah, this is going to be a little louder than I would like, but at least, well, speech is still getting buried. Let's see here. Hang on. Let's just turn the radio part down. There we go.
101.7.
And it's coming in really good. So the third button is, past the frequency, is your speaker button. Do you want it to go through the speakers? I still have the earphones plugged in, but it's made everything go through the actual phone's speaker.
Selected. Label button. Selected. Label D button. Selected. Label button. Double tap. Selected. Selected. 101.7 megahertz.
Now,
Activate.
one thing I want to show you guys is how fast this thing does the scan. The only other phone I've ever seen that has an FM radio is one that a company I work for has. It's the Minivision 2. I don't think it had. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it does not have an auto scan like this one does. So let's do an auto scan because it's something you'll have to do from the beginning.
More options. Button. Unlabeled. Double tap to activate.
See, what is that top unlabeled button?
All channels. Search station. Edit box.
Okay,
Tap to edit text.
what the top button did, remember the top button when right before I went to the more options button, the very first button, that one it goes into all stations and you can search.
New channel. 90.5.
Now you don't have you don't have to go through and search. It'll show you like what stations it found, I guess.
Navigation bar. FM radio. Unlabeled.
So we're going to go do a scan. It's in the more options menu, if you remember.
More options. Button. Pop up window. Scan. In list. Double tap to activate. Scan. 1 station found 3 period. Out of list. 2 stations found 3 period. 3 stations found 3 period. 4 stations found. Cancel. Button.
The ideal you.
Double tap to activate.
Here, which I love.
FM radio. More options. Button. Double tap to activate. Double
Right.
tap and hold the long press.
So it's done.
Unlabeled. FM radio. Unlabeled. All channels. Search. New channel 95.9 megahertz. New channel 99.1 megahertz. New channel 97.5 megahertz. New channel. Double tap to new channel. New channel 92.9 megahertz. Double tap to activate.
So all I have to do is double tap it. I hit that button right after, the app's title. I hit that button, and now I have the edit box, but I also have a list of what channels it found. So all I have to do is double tap one. Yes, it switches that quick.
New channel 97.5 megahertz. Unlabeled. Button. New channel 99.1 megahertz. Double tap to activate.
Now, what I can do,
Unlabeled. Button.
there's an unlabeled button after each channel that it found.
New channel. Double tap to activate. Unlabeled. Button. New channel 101.7 megahertz.
Let's go back to my favorite station. Okay. I'm going to hit the button that's after, if I'm going to swipe one more time.
Unlabeled. Button. New channel. Unlabeled. Button. New channel 106.1 megahertz. Unlabeled. Button.
And it doesn't,
New channel.
I don't know what it does. It
Double tap to activate. Unlabeled. Button. New channel 100.7 megahertz. New channel 99.1. New channel 88.9.
so,
New channel 88.1. Stations out of list. New channel 88.1. Stations out of list selected. Labeled.
Start
Button.
your
And list.
workday and end the
New channel
workday with
106.1
commercial free
megahertz.
rides.
Double
Weekdays
tap to
8:30
activate.
and 4:30 on the Everything
let's see here. Hang on just a moment.
New channel 101.7. Favorites out of list.
Okay, so it's got these as favorites.
options. Button. Search station. Edit box. More options. Favorites. New channel 101.7 megahertz. And list. Double tap to activate. Double tap to hold the long press.
And
New channel 94.9 megahertz. And list. New channel 95.
let's see here.
New channel 95.9. New channel 99.1 megahertz. New channel 100.7 megahertz. Double tap to activate.
Hired thousands of new
Oops.
members for our
Unlabeled.
team.
Unlabeled.
So
Button.
if
Out of list.
making more holiday deliveries to homes
Unlabeled.
in the
New
U.S.
channel
than anyone else
100.7
seems like
megahertz.
magic,
Unlabeled.
that means we're
Unlabeled.
doing
Button.
our
Out of
job.
list.
Looks like that button might remove it.
Unlabeled. Button. And list. New channel
Check off your
100.7.
holiday shopping
Unlabeled.
list at
New
Macy's
channel
Gives You Love
99.1
to Gift
megahertz.
sale with great
New
gift
channel
specials
99.1
like
megahertz.
designer
Unlabeled.
coat Show
Unlabeled.
Love for $99.99.
That's exactly what that button does. All right, so the button to the right of the,
New channel 94.1 megahertz. New channel
it's actually not,
megahertz.
this is what's strange. It's not to the right or to the left. But if you flick, it's there. So when you highlight a channel in your favorites,
New channel 94.1 megahertz. New channel 94.9 megahertz.
and if you flick once to the right,
Unlabeled. Button.
that's a delete button. It removes it from your favorites.
Help him hire
New
great
channel
people fast.
95.9. New channel 88.1 megahertz. New channel 88.9. New channel 90.5 megahertz. New channel 92.9 megahertz.
That's your sponsored.
New channel 92.9. New channel 92.9 megahertz.
Now, I don't know how to go in, if you want to edit the channel and stuff. I haven't really figured all that out yet.
Looking for a new fur baby
Navigation
to
bar.
add to your home?
FM radio.
Check out the
Unlabeled.
Pet of the
Now,
Week.
when you're done in your favorites, you can
Adopt this week's Pet of the Week
More options.
and
92
Empire Motors
adult
of
kids.
Lansing
Cruising
will pay
92.9
the
WLMI.
adoption fee.
Adult kids.
Pet of the Week at
92.9
Cruising
megahertz.
929.
Oh, I hit back,
Activate.
and it's showing me.
If I may,
More
a
options.
moment of your
92.9
time.
megahertz.
Why is it
Adult
not
kids.
okay to say Merry
Cruising
Christmas
92.9
anymore?
WLMI.
The PC police
Unlabeled.
want
Button.
you to say Happy
Selected.
Holidays.
Unlabeled. C.
I
Button.
say
Selected.
Happy
Unlabeled. Button.
Boring.
Selected.
You know who
Unlabeled.
says
C.
Happy
Button.
Holidays?
Unlabeled. Button.
My neighbor.
Station added.
You
Selected.
remember my good neighbor? who
There we
still
go.
lives on my lawn.
So there you go.
When you enter the grass zone, get to Joe's
When you
Bunny.
hit back, it takes me to the frequency.
Free zone. Make sure you
So I guess if you want to change channels,
Joe's doesn't cut
what you
corners
kind of have to
like a
do is
92.9
or the
megahertz.
insurance companies.
More
Joe's
options.
has 24-hour towing.
find the more options and then flick once to the left.
517
All channels.
625
Search station. More options.
6340.
Button.
That's
Search station. Edit
517
box.
625
More options.
6340.
Button.
When
Favorites.
you enter the grass
And then it takes you back to your favorites. Well, what it scanned and found and everything.
Happy
New
New
channel
Year.
92.9
Happy
megahertz.
Hanukkah.
And list.
Whatever.
And then you can,
Body
Selected.
shopping,
New channel 94.9.
Quality is not-
and then when you find a station, hit your back button.
Navigation bar. Back. FM radio. Unlabeled. More options. Button. 94.9 megahertz. Classic rock. Jazz I am. John Millennium. Selected. Unlabeled. Button.
So it may show you the station name, or if the station supports it, it'll show you what's playing. Now that's slick. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here.
Navigation bar. Back. Roll 7. Lift.
Whoops.
Activate.
Okay, I got out of there all right.
I2. Samsung Bell.
I'm on my home screen now. So let's go back into the radio app real quick.
Navigation bar. Overview. Quick set. FM radio. FM radio. Selected. Labeled. Button. Selected. Labeled. Selected.
Okay.
Selected. Selected.
All right. So I've stopped the radio. And when you stop the radio, which is, like I said, in the main, in the screen where it's showing you, where it showed me like the channel name, the channel frequency, and in some cases what song is playing. The second unlabeled button, it says unlabeled. Let's see, unlabeled C. That's your speaker on and off. In other words, speaker or earphones. The third button is the one that turns on and off the radio, if that makes sense. So now that I'm done, I'm going to back out of here. I'm back at my home screen.
Hold the long press. Actions available. Use tab with 3 fingers to view.
I just unplugged the earphones. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through settings. And a big reason I'm doing this is because, like I said earlier, I want to show you guys, just in case something is in a weird place, if you get this phone now, you'll know where to find things.
Settings.
So I'm going to go into settings.
Settings. Connected devices. Network and search settings. Out of list. Double tap. Unlabeled. Button. Network and internet. Wi-Fi. Mobile. Data usage. And hotspot. And list. Double tap to activate.
So that's where those obvious things are.
Connected devices. Bluetooth. Android Auto. NFC. Double tap to activate. Apps and notifications. Recent apps. Default apps. Double tap to activate.
Now let's go in here just real quick because...
Service. Updating digital well-being. Apps and notifications. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Apps and search settings. Recently opened apps and list. Nova 7. 1 minute ago.
So in here you're going to see, what apps... You're going to see a few of the apps you've opened recently.
FM radio. 1 minute ago. Google. 22 minutes ago. See all 113 apps. Button.
Right here's where you would click if you want to add, or if you want to remove apps. You uninstall them. You want to get to the actual app list. You would actually click here where it says see all X number of apps.
Conversations. No priority conversations. Double tap to activate. Notifications. Notification history. Bubbles. Recently sent. Double tap to activate. Screen time. 1 hour. 3 minutes today. Double tap. Advanced. Default apps. Permission manager. Wireless emergency alerts. Special app access. Double tap to activate.
Now you'll have this at the bottom of each, when you go into settings and you go into something, whether it be sound or display or like I just did apps. There is an advanced thing usually down at the bottom, and it's telling you when you double tap this is what you'll see. And it just puts them, it's kind of interesting, it puts them at the bottom of the list. See, right now they're not there. You see, they're not there.
Screen time. Screen time. Advanced.
See, but if I double tap advanced.
Screen time. Advanced. Default apps. Chrome. Phone. And messages. Double tap to act. Nova 7. Recent conversations. Nova 7 recently opened at Nova 7. 1 minute ago. Recently see all 1 conversations. See all 100 conversations. No notifications. Screen time. 1 hour. 3 minutes today. Double tap to activate.
Now if I look below that.
Default apps. Chrome. Phone. And messages. Double tap. Permission manager. Control app access to your data. Wireless emergency alerts. Double special app access. 4 apps can use unrestricted data.
So there you go. It kind of puts them at the bottom of the list, kind of like peekaboo. Here we are. We're here.
Navigation bar. Back. Button. Settings. Apps and notifications. Recent apps. Default apps and list.
Usually, when you hit the back button to go back to the root of wherever, or you're just going back a level, it usually tries to at least talk back anyway. I haven't really paid attention if CSR does it, but TalkBack usually tries to put you where you were in the settings, which is kind of nice.
Battery 18% should last until about 8:30 a.m. Double tap to activate.
Now that's interesting. So here's the battery area.
Battery. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Battery. Search settings. More options. Button. 18% should last until about 8:30 a.m. in list. Battery usage. Button. Double tap. Apps are running normally. Phone has typical background battery usage. Battery saver off. Off. Battery saver switch. Super battery saver off. Off. Super battery saver switch. Schedule none. Adaptive battery off. Double tap off. Adaptive battery switch. Battery percentage. Show battery percentage and status bar off. Switch. Last full charge 4 days ago. Screen usage since full charge 7 hours.
Okay, so I've actually got 7 hours of screen time, and as you heard, it may last until it could possibly last me until tomorrow morning. So very interesting. That's all I got to say. Very good battery life.
Battery usage data is approximate and can change based on usage.
Now, I don't know why.
Off. Super battery off. Apps are running. Battery 18%. Battery usage button.
See how there's a battery usage button here? Now, I want to show you something.
More options button.
The more options button? Let's bring this up real quick.
Pop-up window. Battery usage and list.
That's the only thing in it.
Battery usage.
Battery usage is the only thing in the more options. So basically they're giving you 2 ways to get at it, but the way I see it, you really don't need this more options in here with the battery thing. I would think you could put some battery settings in here, but No, they give you a second way to access
Battery usage.
your battery usage. And basically when you go in there, it just shows you what apps have used like the most, typical
Navigation
stuff.
bar. Back button.
Let's go back.
Battery. More options.
Go back.
Navigation. Settings. Battery 18%. Should last until about 8:30 a.m. Enlist. Display. Wallpaper. Sleep. Font size. Double tap to activate.
And I do believe I showed it on the other recording, but I'll show it in here real quick just in case I didn't show it in the last file. I'll show it here real quick.
Display. Advanced white balance. Adjust the white adaptive brightness. Night light. Off / dark theme. Night adapt white balance. Adjust the white. Advanced. Wallpaper. Screen timeout. Auto rotate screen. Font size. Display
All right,
size.
so as you see, the advanced button is where you'll find the screen timeout time. I don't know why they don't just have all of the settings here. I don't know why they feel they need an advanced button, and then all of a sudden you see all the options. That, in my opinion, that's just kind of weird. But to each their own.
White balance. Adjust the white advanced. Wallpaper. Screen. Wallpaper.
See, so I double tapped it, and it put me on wallpaper. Wallpaper is apparently considered a...
Screen timeout. Always on. Wallpaper. White balance.
It's considered advanced. So let's go to screen timeout.
Screen timeout. Always on.
Notice how mine says always on. A lot of phones don't have that. I think some phones are 10 minutes. Some phones are 30 minutes. We used to have this option on a whole lot of phones years ago, the always on setting, but not anymore. I don't know why, but I was so glad when I saw that this phone had that.
Navigation bar. Settings. Battery. 8 apps and no connect apps. Battery. Display. Wallpaper. Sleep. Sound. Volume. Vibration. Do not disturb.
All right,
Double
so
tap to
let's go
activate.
ahead and go to here.
Sound. Navigate up. Button. Out. Phone ringtone. Old style telephone. Advanced. Default notification. Navigation bar. Home.
Oop.
Button. Out of. Sound. Advanced. Default notification sound. Default alarm sound. Other sounds and vibrations. And list.
So it's telling you pretty much what's inside the advanced area. This phone,
53%. Media volume.
so this phone's got media,
53%. Call volume.
call volume,
100%. Call volume. Slider. Ring and notification volume.
ring, and notification. So my Samsung, those two were separate. Ringtone and notification had their separate volume controls. In here, they don't. They're both the same.
43%. Ring. Alarm volume. 100%. Vibrate for calls. Always vibrate. Do not disturb. Off. Media. Show player. Shortcut to prevent ringing. On. Vibrate. Double tap to active. Phone ringtone. Old style telephone. Advanced. Default notification sound. Default alarm sound. Other sounds and vibrations. Double tap to activate.
So there's your... keep in mind, you're going to see that a lot in these settings areas, and I'll just bring it up again, is that advanced button like that. So if you're not seeing something that you think might be there, see if it's in the advanced area. I don't know why. I don't know if other phones do this, but this one does.
Navigation bar. Settings. Sound. Volume. Vibration. Notification shade. 1:54 p.m. Out of list.
Whoop. That was interesting.
Collapsed. CQ blind tabs.
I don't know how that got brought up because I only used one finger.
Sound,
Interesting.
volume, vibration. Do not disturb. Enlist. Double storage. 26% used. -94.31 GB free. Double tap to activate. Sound.
All
Storage.
right, so we're going to go into storage so I can show you. It's saying I've got 90-some gig free.
Storage. 26% used. -94.31 GB free.
94.1 gig free. So let's go in here and look at exactly how we're seeing the storage in here, just in case you do decide to put an SD card in like I did.
Storage. Navigate up. Button. Storage. Search settings. Device storage. Heading. Enlist. 33.69 GB. Total used to 128 GB. Disabled. Internal shared storage. 33.69 GB used to 128 GB. Portable storage. Heading. Galaxy's 9 Pro. 39.33 GB used to 63.99 GB. Eject. Button.
So that's all you have in there. It's very simple, very basic.
Navigation. Settings. Storage. 26%. Privacy. Permissions. Account activity. Personal data.
Right?
Double tap to activate.
So if we go in here,
Privacy. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Privacy. Search settings. Accessibility usage. One app has full access to your device. And list. Double tap. Permission manager. Control app access to your data. Show passwords. Display characters briefly as you type. On. Switch. Notifications on lock screen. Show all notification content. Advanced. Collect diagnostics. Autofill service from Google. Google location history. Activity controls. Ads. Usage. And diagnostics.
So again, if you push advanced, those are all of the options that are going to pop up underneath what's already here. And they don't stay either. Once you back out, if you go back in, it's going to it's going to be the advanced button again. So no, they don't stay open. I kind of wish they would, but again, that's just me. And I don't know a lot of newer phones. This is the new. This is I had the Galaxy S9 up until now. And I had it for like 3.5 years, so I haven't really played with any other Android phones, any newer phones. So anything newer than, say, Android 10, or at least Samsung's version of Android 10, I'm kind of out of the loop a bit. So I do apologize.
Navigation bar. Back. Settings. Privacy. Permissions. Location. On dash 13 apps have access to location. Double tap to activate. Location. Processing requests. Processing requests. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Process. Location. Search settings. Use location. On. Switch. Recent location requests. Heading and list. Galaxy Watch 4 Bluetooth. Carrot. Lift. See all. Double tap to activate. App access to location. 13 of 47 apps have access to location. Double. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning. Both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning are on. Advanced. Emergency location service. Google location accuracy. Google location history. Google location sharing. Network data analytics. Double tap to activate.
So there you go. I'm not just telling you that I'm going to keep swiping, because those of you who, you're good enough with TalkBack, you probably know that's what I'm doing, is I'm swiping through.
Navigation bar. Settings. Location. On dash 13 apps. Security. Screen lock. Fingerprint. Face. Double tap to activate.
What, you're just going to call it face? So let's go ahead and go in here.
Security. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Double tap. Security. Search settings. Security status. Heading and list. Google Play Protect. App scanned at 8:14 a.m. Double tap to activate. Security update. November 5th, 2021. Find my device. On. Google Play System update. May 1st, 2021. Device security. Heading. Screen lock. Pin. Settings. Button. Fingerprint. 2 fingerprint setup. Face unlock. Not set. Double tap to activate.
All right, so in here it's called Face Unlock. All right. And as you see, I have not messed with Face ID. I don't know how well it works as far as accessibility goes. I really don't like Face ID on the iPhone. I suppose I could probably turn it off, but because I don't like it very well over there, when this phone asked me if I wanted to do Face ID, I'm like, nope, don't want to do it. I mean, I can always set it up later if I really want to torture myself, but I don't feel like messing with it. So that's why I don't have it, face anything.
Smart lock. Double tap. Device admin apps. No active apps. Double tap to activate. Advanced SIM card lock. Encryption and credentials. Trust agents. App pinning. Double tap to activate.
There you go. So that's what would be under the advanced button there.
Navigation bar. Settings. Security. Screen lock. Fingerprint. Face and list. Accounts. WhatsApp. Google and Duo. Double tap to activate.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go in here.
Accounts. Navigate up. Accounts. Search settings. Accounts. Heading and list. JAMMINJERRY@job.com. Dropbox. Double tap to activate. Duo. Jaminjari2011 Google. Jaminjari2011 Sync Samsung Health with Samsung account. 140 Telegram. Double tap to activate. Jichaman 1974 Twitter. Double tap to WhatsApp. Add account. Double tap to active. Automatically sync app data. Let apps refresh data automatically. On. Switch.
So that's all that's in there. All of your different accounts, and then a checkbox that basically says, "Hey, let all your apps, that's in here, or your accounts sync and yada yada yada."
Navigation bar. Back button. Settings. Accounts. WhatsApp. Google and Duo and list. Accessibility. Screen readers. Display. Interaction controls.
So let's go into the accessibility in here, because this is there's a couple things I wanted to show you in here.
Accessibility. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Accessibility. Search settings. Downloaded apps. Heading and list. Apex Launcher off. Select the
Whoops.
off.
Hang on. I touched the screen by accident.
Search downloaded apps. Apex Launcher off. Gizmo Plus off. Double tap to activate.
Now I'm going to go into Jicha Plus just so I can show you guys that you don't have access to the accessibility button in here.
Jicha Plus. Navigate up. Button out of list. Jicha Plus. Use Jicha Plus. Off. Switch. And list. Options. Heading. Jicha Plus shortcut. Hold volume keys. On. Shortcut settings. Switch. Settings. Double tap to activate. Commentary screen reader is a software that aims to make it easier for blind people to use Android.
So as you see, that option is not there. That's why I have it set to the volume keys.
Navigation bar. Back. Accessibility. Jicha Plus. Off. And list. Nova 7. Off. Your phone companion. Off. Screen readers. Heading.
Now, why Jicha does not show up under the screen reader heading, I have no idea, but it doesn't. So keep that in mind when you have both TalkBack and CSR or Jicha installed. Jicha is not going to show up under screen readers. Makes no sense.
Select the speak. Off / your selected text. TalkBack on / speak items on screen.
Now I'm going to show you in here, you'll see what checkbox I have checked. I don't have the volume control buttons checked. Because again, if I did, then when I would press and hold the volume keys, I would run into an incident where it pops up a menu that says, okay, well, which one do you want to use? And if you don't have a screen reader loaded, you got to try to memorize what is where on the screen. And that, because I didn't know that would happen, that's how I kind of messed up the phone a couple days ago, and I had to go get eyeballs to help me fix it.
So, TalkBack on / speak items on screen.
So let's go into TalkBack.
TalkBack. Navigate up. Button out. TalkBack. Use TalkBack on. Switch and list. Options. Heading. TalkBack shortcut. Accessibility button. Double tap to activate. On. Shortcut settings. Switch. Settings. About TalkBack. Heading.
Well, I don't know why it's not showing the volume keys in here, but before I set this up on the accessibility button, there were two checkboxes in here. One was for the volume keys, and then one was for the accessibility button. And I chose the accessibility button. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if I double tapped on it or something, maybe I could change it there, but I don't want to. And I'll show you why I don't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and kill TalkBack.
Navigation bar. Accessibility button.
There's my accessibility button. On my phone, it's in the bottom right. So I'm going to double tap it.
TalkBack off.
TalkBack is now off. If I press and hold my volume keys, 1, 2.
Welcome to commentary screen reader.
See, I don't have to worry now that I'm going to lose speech, which is a very good thing.
Back button. Accessibility. Settings.
Whoops.
Account accessibilities. Accounts accessibilities. Accessibility.
And we'll real quickly finish this with CSR loaded just because a lot of times I like it, but there are a lot of times I use TalkBack. I kind of use them as if NVDA, JAWS, and Narrator. All of the screen readers on my computer, and it just depends on what I'm doing as to which one I'm going to use, because I have found that there are times one is, I don't know if better is the word I'm looking for, but it for me, one is better than the other in certain apps. Like in Lyft, I actually prefer CSR because it'll automatically read the time, whereas TalkBack does not. The time it's going to take your driver to get to you. So,
navigate up button. Accessibility. Search settings. Download. Apex. Nova. Your phone. Screen. Select. Talk. Text to speech output. Display. Font size large. Display size default. Dark theme switch off. Switch off. Magnification off. Color correction off. Color inversion off. Large mouse pointer switch off. Switch off. Remove animation switch on. Switch on.
I turned that on just because I don't need animations. Why? I can't see it.
Interaction controls. Accessibility menu off / control phone via large menu. Switch access off / control device with switches. Auto click. Well timing off. Power button end call switch on. Switch on. Auto rotate screen switch off. Switch off. Touch and hold delay. Time to take action. Accessibility timeout. Default. Vibration and haptic strength on. System navigation 3 button navigation. Audio and on-screen text. Mono audio switch off combine channels when playing audio. Switch off. Audio balance left right. Audio balance slider 50 position. Hearing aids no hearing aids connected. Caption preferences off. Experimental. High contrast text switch off. Switch off. Advanced shortcut from lock screen. Navigate up button. Advanced shortcut from lock screen.
So I'm going to show you what that is.
Touch and hold delay. Time to take action. Accessibility timeout. Vibration and haptic strength. High contrast text switch off. Switch off. Shortcut from lock screen. Switch on allow feature shortcut to turn on from the lock screen. Hold both volume keys for a few seconds.
So basically that's the, your two volume keys. So I could turn, if for some reason, TalkBack, I don't know, let's say it quit responding or something was going on. Once I turn the phone on or the screen on, but I'm still at the lock screen, I can use the two volume keys on the lock screen, which is nice.
Back settings. Digital well-being and parental controls, Google services and preferences, accessibility screen readers, display, interaction controls.
See, now this is a case where TalkBack is better. TalkBack leaves you or tries to leave you where you were, where, as you can see, CSR does not. So let's go ahead and quickly switch again. There's you. You're off. And now because I know where my accessibility button is.
TalkBack on. Quick step. Double tap to activate. Navigation bar. Nova 7.
Go.
Lift. Double tap to activate. Settings. Settings. Wallpaper. Sleep. Font size. Google services and preferences. Accessibility. Screen readers. Display.
All right. I've fixed where we are. My fingers just a little bit. My fingers are kind of big, so sometimes I hit both the accessibility button and the recent apps button, and it takes the recent apps instead of accessibility. So I kind of had to fix that. But we're back to where we were.
Digital well-being and parental controls. Screen time. App timers. Bedtime schedules. Double tap to activate. Google services and preferences. Double tap to activate. Google account. Google out of list. Jerry Jicha current account. Jerry 2000. Manage your Google account button. Navigate up button. Help and feedback. More options button. COVID-19 support heading and list. COVID-19 exposure notifications off. Double tap to activate.
I'll turn these on. I didn't know that this was here, which is kind of interesting that they put those there.
Exposure notifications. Navigate up button. Exposure notifications. Help. Off. Use exposure notifications. Switch. Disabled. And list. To turn on COVID-19 exposure notifications, select or add an available region. Other available apps. To turn on COVID. Off. Use exposure.
Yeah, see, it's not letting me turn it on. So I guess I gotta play with this for a little bit to figure all that out. At the end of the day,
Navigation bar. Google account. COVID-19 exposure notifications off and list.
I don't know how well they work, so I don't know if I'm even going to mess with it. Now that I saw it's going to be a little harder to mess with than I thought.
Services on this device. Heading. Ads. Double tap. Autofill. Parental control.
Hey.
Services on this device. Heading. Ads. Double tap. Autofill. Double tap to activate. Backup. Devices and sharing. Find my device. Mobile data and messaging. Parental controls. Personal safety. Personalize using shared data. Set up and restore. Settings for Google Apps. Developer heading. Firebase app indexing. Double.
Okay. So let's go ahead and back out of here.
Navigation bar. Settings. Google services and preferences and list.
So as you can tell, like I said, TalkBack kind of leaves you where you were. CSR does not. So again, just a matter of preference as to,
System, languages, gestures, time, backup. Double tap to activate.
So let's go into system real quick.
Google, system, languages,
Thank
system.
you.
Navigate up, button, out of, system. Search settings. Languages and input, board, and list. Double tap to activate. Gestures. Double tap to activate. Date and time, GMT 0500 Eastern Standard Time. Certification. Double, backup, on. Double tap, advanced, reset options, multiple users, developer options, system update. Double tap to activate.
So here's where system update is. Kind of an interesting thing. And again, it's showing up under advanced, which is, or under that little advanced button, link, whatever you want to call it, option. So in this phone, that's kind of weird that it does that. Real quick, because May's out here, I'm just going to ask her real quick. On your 4A, when you go into one of your settings, do you have a thing at the bottom that says advanced and it says a whole bunch of stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not just my phone that does it. Okay, good. I don't feel stupid and crazy and... Okay. At least not this time, right?
System advanced reset options multiple use.
So if you want to do a system update, you can't just go into like a system update and then hit check update. You have to actually come into systems, then go to system update, then probably hit check for update. I think it makes it crazy. Well, yours is a Samsung tablet, and yes, not only tablets, but Samsung, because of the way they do their stuff, it's going to be different. Because my Galaxy S9 didn't either.
Navigation bar.
All right.
Settings. System. Languages. Gestures. Time. Backup. And list. About phone. Nokia X100.
Yep, microwave's going to come on here in just a moment because she's got to eat.
About phone. Nokia X100.
All right, so let me show you what's in About Phone.
About phone. Navigate up. Button. Out of About phone. Search settings. Gerard. And list.
I don't know why I'm assuming that's...
Device name. Gerard.
It doesn't look like something I can click. Let me see. No. So for some reason, my first name only is above everything. Well, that's great. I don't know why that's there, but sure.
Device name. Nokia X100. Double tap to activate. Double tap.
I assume you can change the name of your device. I just leave it as what it is because I don't care at the moment. But there you go.
User experience program. Double tap to activate.
User experience program.
User experience program. Navigate up. Button. User experience diagnostic report and list. Diagnostic report. When software errors occur on the device, sending a diagnostic report may result in a data usage charge, and it is recommended that you apply for a data package from your carrier. Checked. Checkbox.
Well, I've already I have unlimited data, so go away.
Network options. Transmit a diagnostic report when Wi-Fi connection is available. Double.
And that's really all that's in there.
Navigation bar. About phone. User experience program and list. Phone number 1517. Double tap and hold the long press. Emergency information. Phone number.
Now where it has my phone number. Hey.
About phone. User experience program. Device name. Phone number.
Where it has my phone number, it looks like I can double tap on it.
Emergency information. Phone number
but it doesn't do anything, which is kind of interesting.
Emergency information. Info and contacts for Gerard. Double tap to activate. Legal information. Double tap to activate. SIM status. T-Mobile. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold the long press. Now
in here you can find out, your SIM cards. Oh, what is that weird lettering? But the ID number that your carrier needs when they need it. ICSID or ECSID or some crazy thing. But you can also find out like your signal strength and stuff like that.
Device unlocked. Feel your device unlocked status. Double tap to activate.
Now, I am going to show you this because this is a phone through T-Mobile exclusively. And I think you can also do it on their prepaid plans as well. But here's what's in here.
System service. Running free period. Loading. Don't exit this screen. Out of list. System.
Oh, okay, it's looking it up. So what it does is it looks at your account. And there's a reason why. This is where you can find out if your phone is unlocked, and if not, why. In other words, how much longer you got to make payments on the phone, or, because most likely if you buy it outright, that's probably not an issue. But here's what's in here, and I actually find this kind of interesting. I've never seen this on a phone before.
Device unlocked. About. Status. Locked. Your device is locked and can only be used with T-Mobile SIM and network at this time. 1 of 5. And list 5 items. You have not yet met the following requirements to fully unlock your device. Cross-marked device must be paid off. Cross-marked device must have been used for at least 40 days on this phone number. 2 of 5. Double tap to activate. C. Unlock policy details. 3 of 5. Want to temporarily unlock your phone? You are eligible to temporarily unlock your device to be used with any compatible carrier, domestic or international, for 30 days for free. You can use this up to 5 times per year. 4 of 5. Double tap. Activate temporary unlock now. 5 of...
Which I'm not going to do. But once I pay this phone off, I could probably, you can unlock it and then you can use it with whatever carriers it would work with. Now, I don't know. I honestly don't know if it has the ability to work with AT&T. Like, does it have all GSM stuff in it to where it could work with AT&T? I don't know. But in here is where you can see if the phone is locked or unlocked.
Navigation bar. About phone. Device unlocked. View your device unlocked status and list. Model and hardware. $13.99. Double tap to activate. Double tap. Model and hardware. Navigate up. Button. Up. Model and hardware. Search settings. Model. $13.99. And list. Serial number. AD. Hardware version. V1.0. Double tap.
And that's really all that's in there.
Navigation bar. About phone. Model and MA 354. Carrier configuration version 2.340001. Double. Android version 11. Double tap to activate. IP address, FA80, Wi-Fi MAC address, to view, choose device Wi-Fi MAC address, Wi-Fi MAC address, to view, choose save network. Double tap to activate. Device Wi-Fi MAC address, 60:D8, Bluetooth address, 60:D, uptime, 254402.
So the uptime is, how long it's been up since you actually, turn the device, turn it off and turn it back on, or if you reset it. Obviously, we all know that, but there you go. You can find that here to find out how long your device has been going.
Build number 04US_1_1.
So there's all the settings. I believe we're done.
Settings. About phone. Nokia. Wallpaper. Sleep. Font size. Double tap to activate. Sound. Volume. Vibration. System. Languages. Gestures. About phone. Nokia X100. Navigation bar. Home. Setting system. Land about phone. Nokia X.
Okay, so yep. About phone is the very last one in here.
Navigation.
All right.
Nova 7. Lift.
So there you guys go. There is some other stuff about this phone, the settings, the FM radio. I hope you guys have found this informational. If you have any other type of questions, feel free to get a hold of me, jamminjerry2011@gmail.com. I will spell that for you. That is JAMMINJERRY2011@gmail.com. Hope you found this informational, and I hope you have a wonderful day.